I haven't had a conversation with him, but I'm just like, this is not looking good.
Yeah.
I knew it intuitively. I knew it that this is game over now.
Today's podcast is sponsored by 2 companies.
This video is sponsored by Chai Pani Blackburn, the hottest place to get your Carrick chai in South Asian street foods. Open from early and closes late means you'll never miss out on all your favorite foods. With a great indoor seating area with friendly staff at your service to a large shared car park with a drive-through style attendant taking your order, so you don't have to leave the comfort of your vehicle. It's a perfect spot to meet and catch up with friends, so make sure you head down to Chai Pani Blackburn in partnership with Brain Cell Squared.
The second sponsors is a company called Tiny Tastes, based in Blackburn, Lancashire. Are you guys ready for this one? Because Tiny Tastes have sent me a sample of their product. And what Tiny Taste is, you've heard of Dubai chocolate. Tiny Taste have incorporated Dubai chocolate into small bite-sized chocolates with different toppings on top. We have a pistachio one, we have a Biscoff one, and we have an almond one. I've tried these before and they're absolutely amazing. I think we'll give it a go.
Sure.
Which one?
Almond, please.
Almond.
Me want to off.
Which one?
Pistachio.
We've got our awesome manager. Yes.
The camera guy.
Camera manager, HR, everything.
Almond one's really good. Almond one is really good. Almond's awesome.
So this is what you're working with. Absolutely amazing. Check them out. They're on Instagram.
Nice, isn't it? Oh, that's nice.
It is, isn't it?
So you put out a statement on Wednesday the 19th of Feb of this year, 2025. So the statement, as we all read on Facebook that you put out, is pretty lengthy, and you have mentioned a lot of points and also people. We're also going to try to get you to explain what's going on in that statement and what happened after those fundraisers, inshallah.
Okay. So there's 3 statements I've made following my resignation from the college. So the first statement that you refer to is in relation to my resignation from the college.
What in your head before the actual resignation, what made you get to that decision?
Absolutely. As I've mentioned, we've had 3 fundraisers. We've had training of staff. We've had preparation for the Palestine Awareness Day starting from the previous academic year. Now we come to the new academic year, so academic year 2024-2025.
Right.
And the preparations for Palestine Awareness Day are continuing. So I'm working with the students that have come up with this idea, the university centre students that have come up with the idea of holding a Palestine Awareness Day. What makes the Palestine Awareness Day different to the fundraisers is that it's not just a fundraiser. Rather, it's an opportunity for the students to speak about what's actually happening in Palestine.
Okay.
And also, there was an invitation to a prominent and reputable Palestinian speaker as well. So there was going to be a guest speaker, Palestinian speaker, who was going to come to the college, who's spoken in diverse events and is reputable. And she was going to come to the college and speak at the college as well. So that was the idea. So what was different about this Palestine Awareness Day is that it's not just a fundraiser. It's about raising awareness, and there will be speeches involved. So that's what makes it different. But the preparations had already started in the previous academic year. So when we came into this academic year, we continued with the preparations, and the proposals was put together by the students. So the transcripts of the student speeches, the speeches the students were going to give, the transcripts of that were submitted to management. Amendments were made to that speech, so we had conversations, and wherever we felt that the amendments were required, we made amendments. We worked with management. All of that took place, the speaker, this is going to be the speaker, this is going to be the itinerary on the day, all of that. So all of them plans were submitted to management in the academic year 2024-2025. So at the end of 2024. Yeah. Now we were awaiting that final approval from management, but management were already aware that these plans were taking place. So it's fair to think that, considering the background, that the event would take place, if there were any issues about the event, there might be particulars that you could have debate about, you can negotiate them.
Of course.
So management can say, okay, we're a bit uncomfortable with this. What do you think? If we did this in this way, then how would you feel?
Yeah.
Then I'd go back to the students and say, okay, students, what do you think?
Yeah.
What about this? That's completely legitimate.
Yeah,
That's part of the process.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But what happened is, the week before we broke up for Christmas, suddenly I get called in by my manager, Rachel Burleson, and she informs me that Fazal had called her into his office and informed her that the Palestine Awareness Day had been called off.
What? Why?
Do you see? I can see from your emotional reaction.
Confused,
like
confusion.
Do you see? So so you can empathize with what's with how
especially
or the students may be feeling. Do you see?
Of course,
definitely.
Yeah.
So when that happened, was there any context given to why, or was there just, I'm the boss, you listen?
So then Rachel Burleson informed me that Fazal has made the decision that the Palestine Awareness Day cannot take place. So then I just turned around to Rachel Burleson and said, I said that, look, this is not a matter I can sit on. Therefore, I will have to escalate this to Lancashire Council of Mosques, because it's not something I can sit on.
And you mentioned that in your statement.
And I mentioned that in my statement as well, of course. So then, and that's what I did. That I went to Lancashire. I rang Lancashire Council of Mosques and informed them that this is what's happened. So what Lancashire Council of Mosques said to me is that they'd like the reasons why in writing.
Right. Okay.
So then I went to the principal on the same day. I went to the principal and I asked him, I confirmed first that my manager Rachel Burleson has informed me that you have called off Palestine Awareness Day. Is that correct? So I wanted to get the facts right first. He said, yes, that's correct. So I said, because you've called off Palestine Awareness Day, I've had to escalate the matter to Lancashire Council of Mosques. And what they've asked for is the reasons why in writing. A
written statement.
When I said that to Fazal Dad turned around to me and said, I run this institution, we do education here, I don't need to justify my decisions.
Jeez, you can't be saying that. You have to give a reason, haven't you?
Absolutely. It's
not a small thing.
Why do you have to give a reason? Why would you say you have to give a reason?
First of all, the position he's in.
Yes. I was just going to say, he's a professional. Yeah. He's in a professional position. He's
not a
father. It's not a dictatorship.
He's not a
It's not a dictatorship. Okay. So we live in a democracy. We don't live in a dictatorship. Number one. Number two, the institution that Fazal Dad is principal of, is it a private institution or public sector institution? Public sector institution. So if you're running your own business and you making decisions unilaterally, that's understandable.
Fine,
I'm not saying it's good practice.
No, but it's just private though.
It's private. Do what you want. It's your business.
No one can say nothing.
No one can say nothing. Yeah? But can you run a public sector institution in the same way?
No, not at all.
You can't run a public sector.
You have to explain everything you say and do.
Absolutely. Like I have to.
Yeah.
Like everything I've done so far, I've had to justify to management, to the community, to students. I have to justify my decisions.
You are expected to submit all this time, all your preparation notes, everything.
Absolutely.
You were expected to explain yourself.
Absolutely. If I'm accountable, then he's also accountable. The college management is also accountable.
What was your reaction to that?
So then I turned around to him and I said...
This was right in front of you, like you were in his office.
Face to face.
And
I was face to face with him. The conversation we were having was a face to face conversation we were having. And he turned around to me and said, that I don't need to justify my
Nah, that's
decisions.
crazy. You can't say that.
Yeah. So then I turned around to him and I said, look, I'm not here to dispute your decision. I'm not here to do that. I've just been asked by Lancashire Council of Mosques to inform you that they would like to know the reasons why. So this purpose of this conversation
Is to inform you of that.
that's it.
Yeah.
So then he then turned around and said, how about we have a meeting with Lancashire Council of Mosques? So then I took that back. By that time, the chair of Lancashire Council of Mosques contacted me and I explained the whole situation to him. So I've spoken to one of the other colleagues in Lancashire Council of Mosques, but by that time, after I came out, after I finished that conversation with the principal, I got a phone call from the chair of Lancashire Council of Mosques and I explained the whole situation to him and also explained how his colleague mentioned that they would like the reasons why, and he obviously was aware of that. And then I also mentioned that the principal would like to meet yourselves in order to discuss this issue. So the Lancashire Council of Mosques said, that's fine, it's absolutely fine, we can meet, that's not a problem. So I go back into the office the day after. So I'd already finished the work, I'd finished my day by that time. I got a phone call from the chair. So went back into work the next day. I emailed the principal directly saying, yes, they open, you've suggested a meeting, Lancashire Council of Mosques are open to a meeting. Let us know what dates you have in mind and we'll take it from there. So then I got a response on the Thursday. So that I was informed of the decision about calling off Palestine Awareness Day on the Tuesday.
Okay.
On the Thursday, on the Wednesday, I sent an email saying they're open to a meeting. On Thursday, I get a response from the PA of the principal. And she informs me that there's a date in January, after the Christmas holidays, that she'll hold in the diary.
That late?
Yeah. So there'll be a day in January. So there was a date that was proposed by the PA of the principal in January to meet with Lancashire Council of Mosques. So the principal will meet Lancashire Council of Mosques on that day. That was what the PA proposed. So I was just liaising with Lancashire Council of Mosques. So this is in the morning on the Thursday. So I let the chair of Lancashire Council of Mosques know this is the day. And these discussions, he said, I just need to check a few things. I go, no problem, get back to me. So I was with me and the chair were just discussing this. And on the very same day, I get an email directly from the principal. So the first email was from the PA of the principal with the date. I receive a second email from the principal directly, and he says to me, I just want to make it clear that the meeting can take place with Lancashire Council of Mosques, but the decision can't change.
When does it become a dictatorship?
So
without an explanation?
What's the purpose of having a meeting if the decision can't change?
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense. So what's the purpose? What are we trying to achieve through the meeting then?
Just wasted time.
And why do you need to double down?
Yeah.
When you negotiate with someone, there's a kind of generosity of spirit, isn't there? That when you negotiate, the whole purpose of negotiation is like, okay, let's hear them out.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of it.
Take some.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see if we
But
can compromise.
as soon as the moment you stepped into his office, when he called you, when you went in for an explanation,
he wasn't in his office. He was elsewhere.
How did LCM take this, Lancashire County Council of Mosques?
Yes.
How did they take that?
So then, once this had happened, we didn't confirm the meeting. So we said, okay, we need to probably approach this differently.
Yeah.
So then I suggested to Lancashire Council of Mosques that, because obviously you have the executive team, you have the quality leadership team, part of which is led by the executive team, and the principal and the chief executive, Fazal Dad is the principal of the organization of the college. Above them you have the corporation board. And the corporation board has a number of governors. And among them governors is a person called Tayyib Sufi. and he works at EG. So he's one of the governors at the college.
Right.
So I'm aware of who's in the corporation board, as I work at the college. So I suggested to Lancashire Council on Mosques that it may be an idea that we reach out to Tayyib Sufi and have this conversation with him, which Lancashire Council on Mosques then did. I also, subsequently, during the Christmas holidays, I happened to bump into Tayyib Sufi as well for Jumu'ah. I was at Masjid in Jumu'ah for Jumu'ah, and I happened to bump into Tayyib Sufi. Because I've never met him before. So I bumped into him and I confirmed that, is your name Tayyib Sufi? He goes, yes. I explained my name was Saleem Seedat, I'm the chaplain at the college. I believe Lancashire Council of Mosques have reached out to you. So he said, yeah, just have an informal conversation with Fazl and take it from there. So that's what Tayyib Sufi said, that have this informal conversation with Fazl and see if we can approach that. So that's where it was at. So the proposal for the Palestine Awareness Day is rejected. The matter gets escalated to Lancashire Council of Mosques. Lancashire Council of Mosques then speak to Tayyib Sufi. Tayyib Sufi suggests having an informal conversation with Fazl Dad. Fine. Now what happens is that's already, so that all that's taking place in the background. Yeah, I go back into work in the new year. I go back into work, and then a week or one of the things I noticed immediately is the attitude of management had changed towards me.
Okay, yeah.
That's one of the things I noticed. So I'm like, okay, what's happening here? How come that there's like a coldness that I'm sensing from the body language of management after I've gone back in the new year? So obviously that made me feel uncomfortable. But whatever the case, it could be my own perception. It could be that. It could be my own misperception, whatever the case may be. But then soon after, I get called in by HR.
That's never good.
So the moment I get called in by HR, and this is no word of a lie, if my friend was here, he'd mention it to you. I rang my friend, literally. The moment I hadn't even had a conversation with HR, yeah. I rang my friend and I said, over the Christmas period, because of how they've dealt with the Palestine Awareness, the decision they made about Palestine Awareness Day, one of the things I was thinking about was resignation. I'd already started thinking about that. Yeah, because I felt I'm not going to be able to justify my position here at the college any longer.
Because of this.
Because of this, yes. So I was already starting thinking about this, but I was letting the process take its course.
Yeah.
But the moment that HR got involved in the picture, so I received an email from HR saying, come and see me, the deputy head of HR, come and see me. The moment that had happened, I rang my friend. I didn't even have a conversation with my friend. I didn't have a conversation with the deputy head of HR at that juncture when I rang my friend. I rang my friend and I said to him that it's looking like I'll need to give my resignation today. I haven't had a conversation with HR, but I'm just like, this is not looking good.
Yeah, you knew something was coming.
Yeah, I knew it. Intuitively, I knew it. That it's game over now. This is finished. Yeah. So anyway, I went to meet the deputy head of HR. We had a pleasant conversation, civil conversation. There's no issues with the head of HR.
What was the reason they called you?
Okay. So now he informs me of. But the notice of investigation doesn't have any mention of Palestine Awareness Day.
So they wanted to keep that out.